Kevin Doyle, thanks for taking the time in lieu of Doug Hill, who's having a little bit of laryngitis going on. But 2 games last week, tie against Fullerton and then a big win against Evansville. Let's talk about the Fullerton game. It was a game that was kind of in hand, and they came back, got a couple of calls. But just tell me your impression of your team in that particular game.
Well, definitely one of the strangest games that I've ever been a part of. You know, up 3-0 with 15 minutes to play, and game was in hand. We were about to put a whole bunch of subs in and give guys a rest so they'd be fresh for Sunday, and then it was just strange. It just happened. 2 penalty kicks back to back within less than a minute, and all of a sudden it's a real game again. And you know, it's funny. Our kids played really well. You know, for 75 minutes we were awfully dominant. You know, we had them, you know, outshot by a whole bunch by that point, playing well, attacking well, defending well. Pretty complete game up until that point. And then a couple of fouls, a couple of, you know, obviously what we think were poor calls by the referee, but, you know, that's how you always feel on those. And again, and then it's a game, and a scramble at the very end, and they poke the tying goal in with 6 seconds left, and, you know, then into overtime, and you know, we settled back down and we played just fine, had a whole bunch of chances to win the game in overtime. And, you know, it's good we got some goals, but because we hadn't scored much up until this weekend. And then, you know, to have it kind of peter apart like that at the end was disappointing.
What can you learn, though? I mean, obviously, it's non-conference season, thankfully, so the tie doesn't go against your conference record. But can you learn, hey, look, guys, we were up 3-0 with 15 minutes left. There's never a time when you can stop, right?
Right. No, you know, traditionally with our program, with our team, the non-conference play is when we learn a whole bunch of lessons about our team. And, you know, these first 5 games that we played are no different. You know, we learned a lot of lessons, both things that we need to do better, and you know, particularly when we played against Oregon State, they were better than us on the day, and they smoked us. And we learned a lot off of the way that they play with the pace and power of their movements, and we just learned a lot from them. You know, for this past weekend, especially with Cal State Fullerton, you know, we had a few moments in the game where we should have been smarter and more mature and just killed the game. Because we had possession of the ball. We had times when it was 3-2 inside of 2 minutes to play. Well, all you have to do is get to the corner flag, stand on the ball, and let them foul you, let them kick it out of bounds, and just be smart and composed about it. And across the board, you know, our players on the ball didn't make those kinds of decisions, and the players around them that could have communicated that and reminded them, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do in this moment, they weren't communicating that. And so a lot of lessons learned from our first 4 games going into Evansville, and hopefully we've matured from those.
I think if you take a look at the score of Evansville, 5-1, I mean, that's a pretty good improvement. But what did you learn from that game? And it was nice to see a lot of players get some playing time later in that game too.
My primary role with our team is the defensive side of things. And so we were quite good defensively. All it takes, though, with the way that we play, is one guy to lose track of his responsibility, and then it's a scramble, and everybody else kind of panics. And that's what happened on their goal. We went down 1-0 in that game, and it was a very small mistake, but small things lead to big things with the way that we play. And so going into the game, I had a meeting with all of our backs, a video session right before the game with all of our backs, goalkeepers, holding midfielders, to talk to them about mistakes that we had made against Cal State Fullerton, some adjustments that we could make, and they did really, really, really well, except for one little instance, and that was the goal against us. We felt pretty good at going into the game that we would have chances to win the game, and you know, and so we did. The kids really rallied and came back. We got a goal before the half to go in, tied 1-1, and then we really kind of put our foot down on the gas in the second half and were able to get some more goals.
And it seemed to me down 1-0. Here's a team that, you know, just had this debilitating tie, you know, 2 days before, and now you're down 1-0. Your team didn't fold in the tents. Your team almost got angry, in a sense, it looked like to me.
Yeah, it's funny. They all felt going into the game that, you know, by this point in the season, we probably should have been 3-1. You know, we first game was against Portland, and from a statistical standpoint, we thumped them. You know, we outshot them something like 16-6, and you know, had a lot of good chances and just didn't put it away. And then, you know, the game before Fullerton. We were at SIU Edwardsville, up 2-0, and flushed that one down the toilet and ended up losing 3-2 in overtime. They were angry because they know they're better than that. They know that they going into that game, they knew that they were much better than 0-3-1. Games that statistically that we should have won, that we did really well with. And going down that goal, I don't think it was a sense of, oh, here we go again. I think it was, all right, boys, let's get this back together again. Let's right the ship and show people who we are. And we know we're a good team. We know we're a team that can score goals. We just need to do a better job on the other end, keeping it out of the back of the net. For
sure. So this week, one game, really good opponent. DU coming down here. You had an exhibition with them earlier this year. So, it's not a team you haven't seen before. You see them every year. What do you expect from this game? What do you want to see your team improve in this time?
First of all, Denver's a very good team. And, both of us last year were NCAA tournament qualifiers. They couldn't go because of a COVID outbreak in their team. And so Omaha went in their place. But two very good teams, two teams who know each other very well. Like I said, we both have a lot of kids from Colorado. They all grew up playing with and against each other. Our coaching staff has a very good relationship with theirs. We're very close, but we're also, if we had a natural rivalry, we're it. This is it for each other. We're the only schools for the other that are within a driving distance. Only Division I schools in Colorado that have men's soccer. So it's a big day for us. From my perspective, things that I would like for us to see better is just each game we have fewer and fewer individual mistakes, and we're kind of collectively coming together, especially on the defensive side of things. I would like for us to continue to keep those at a minimum, right? And if a midfielder lets one of their guys run through, how do we adjust to that? How do we prevent that by happening, with communication from behind, just to continue to eliminate those chances so that once our conference play does start, we feel like we're in a really good place. And then on the other side of the ball, keep getting our chances, keep taking chances, keep pulling the trigger to get shots off. When you shoot the ball on frame, good things happen, whether it's the first one or if the goalkeeper drops or a deflection or whatever. But just keep getting in their end and taking chances and keeping pressure on them. Because that's really who we are as a team. We're a high-pressure team, high-energy team who has to go in order for us to be successful. And just like for us to continue to grow in that respect.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more growth on Friday night. Kevin Doyle, thanks for the time.
Thank you.